Okay, so Casey, I was thinking about you today, this morning, and about your quickness to anger when you don't get what you want. And this is something that I've struggled with as well. I think every human being on this planet has struggled with that, where when we don't get what we want, we get frustrated or angry, dissatisfied, and so it's not something that you have to feel like you're the only one who struggles with. I think as you get older, you realize that you're not going to get everything you want. You kind of just deal with it. You kind of just say, okay. And so, the key for that in the spiritual realm and the obedience to the Lord is to really hold things loosely in your hands, different things, especially things that are seemingly not worth that much. There are things that we're absolutely called to hold on to, our faith, relationships with others, uniting that union that we have with others, those different things that we're supposed to hold on to for sure. But there are things like last night specifically, you wanted to make that project for mom, and just time got away from us, and it was not going to happen in the fullness way I wanted to do that. And so I said, well, we're not going to do that tonight. We're going to draw, make cards instead. And you were very frustrated because you wanted to do the project. And I understand why you want to do the project, and in one sense I want to apologize to you, because I did say that we were going to make those projects on Friday night, and so I apologize. I should have kept my word and allowed you to do that. I really believe that, because I had said that I would, that we would do that. And I don't know the future. Sometimes I say things and I, don't know. And I'm sorry about that. But, last night you could have done your project, and I really should have done that. So please forgive me, Casey, for that. And on top of that, so I think you were right in kind of confronting me in that and saying, you said that we were going to do this. And so I really appreciate that, holding me accountable to my word. It's important that we do that in the faith, especially with people who are believers who really highly value their word. We are called to. God highly values His word. He never breaks His word, and He calls us to do the same, to keep our word no matter what. So back to kind of being quick to let go of things. There are times when God is going to maneuver and change the direction of things, and we need to allow Him to do that. And so sometimes we expect certain things, and we don't get what we want, and we need to just let go. And here's the key: it's the thing that you're going to do that will enable you to be joyful. So you were quick to let go of that, which I also want to encourage you in. You were quick to let go last night of your anger, in terms of, you held it a little bit and stayed in the car, and we kind of walked through that and got you out. But you were quick to kind of let it go, which is good. And I think part of that is because you got into doing the card for mom and got into what activities we were doing, watching the movie and then reading the scriptures, so that when God takes us away from something, He's always bringing us to something better. We have to trust that, and quickly trust that that is better. So I have to preempt. There are times when I say things like, hey, we're gonna make these things on Friday, and I really need to say, I think that's gonna happen. I think God's calling us to make those on Friday, because I really did pray about last night, and sometimes it's not easy, and in terms of I should have just said, well, God, you wouldn't be calling me to break my word. So I said we were going to do these projects tonight, so we're just going to do them. But when we kind of have to loosely hold on to what our plans are, because God knows the plans that He has for us, and they're better than whatever plans that we have for ourselves. And so I just encourage you in that, Casey. You're an amazing young man, and you have so much to offer. And one of the things you absolutely have to offer is this flexibility in regards to when plans change. I've seen you get better at when you want something, and you're not getting it. You just say, you know what, that's okay. I'm excited for what I am gonna get, because it's a lot. I was trying to push you towards that last night. This joy in what we do have, because what Satan wants to do, what our flesh, our selfishness wants to do, is say, if I don't get that which I want right now, I can't have pleasure, I can't have joy, all the joy that I want. I really, like you respond to me saying, we're not going to be doing that right now. You say, but I really want that, and it's understandable, but we have to let go of that want, and now turn it towards what was actually going on, because then you can fully engage in love, fully be love in what we are doing, instead of just coming against me and complaining because you're not getting what you want. Does that make sense? I mean, the same thing for me. I mean, I'm talking to myself whenever I speak to you as well, and I encourage myself to not hold on to things, and instead of being like, oh God, I want it this way, instead to be like, well, it's okay. What God has for me is better, and I need to trust that and walk through that. And a good example of that was last night with the van. I didn't want the van to break down. I didn't, want to have Hannah crying, for mom and the upsetment that was going on in the car. But you know what? It's not about me. And so it's, as I was praying with you and the family for the car to be healed, for the car to be touched by God, and obviously God could easily have made the car alternator work and for us to go again. I prayed repeatedly, but then when I prayed repeatedly and it didn't happen, it's like, I need to let go of this, let my want. Instead, now I need to see what God has for me, so I can get excited about that. Because in the past, I would definitely say the same thing you've said to me, where I'd be like, God, but I want this car to run, and I start getting angry with God, and that is such foolishness, because He is so much wiser than me. And as I reflect on what God did last night through that situation, I can rejoice because I see many things that God did. But I love you, Casey, and hopefully this makes perfect sense. If it doesn't, please, I'm always available for you to talk to. You can always call me, and when we're together, we can always talk about these things too.